Executive Officer, Pepper India Resolution Private Limited, I beg your pardon, Mr. Mukund Kulkarni. Mukund Kulkarni joined Pepper Advantage in 2022. Mukund comes with more than 2 decades of experience in credit management. He was previously head of SME and retail loans at Asset Reconstruction Company, Arcel. Prior to that, he was National Strategy Manager at Barclays Investment and Loans India, Senior Manager of Collections Strategy and Compliance at Cholamandalam Finance, and Regional Collections Manager at the Mumbai headquarters of ICICI Bank. As CEO for Pepper Advantage, Mukund is responsible for driving the company's development in India as well as maintaining the highest levels of customer service. Please help me welcome Mr. Mukund Kulkarni on stage, please. Thank you. Welcome to begin with their own addresses. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for your time. And firstly, a couple of apologies. Firstly, for us being slightly late. We formally opened our new office in Pune this morning. It took a little bit longer than we had anticipated, and we had a couple of clients with us. Secondly, apologies for the slight power outage that just occurred. I'm hoping that won't persist during the meeting. If it does, I'm sure we can answer some of your questions as we go on. It is a genuine privilege for me to be addressing you this morning. I know how busy the press are in India, given everything that's going on at the moment. In particular, I know that many of you have had to travel from Mumbai. So I want to take this opportunity firstly to thank you for your time. It's enormously important for us as a business, both globally but also here in India, that we're able to tell our story in a particular way. So I appreciate your time and your focus this morning. The plan of attack this morning is to very briefly give you an overview of who we are as Pepper Advantage as a global business. We would then have Mukund introduce a little bit about the Indian operation, and then finally we'll talk about why we've opened the tech hub here in Pune that we have. I understand there's going to be time for some questions, both formally up here and then also subsequently to the meeting as well. So I do really appreciate your time. It's a great honor to be here, and I hope you enjoy the next half an hour or so. So we have a presentation. Right. So I wanted to start by giving you an overview of who Pepper Advantage is globally. We are a global credit management and credit intelligence company. We started business in 2012 off the back of the global financial crisis that was emerging in Europe at the time. We started it from scratch. Bhavin mentioned the fact that I was part of the small team that set it up. We started it up as a series really of entrepreneurs, and over the last 10 years have grown it into a substantial operation currently owned by the global investment firm KKR. So we're a true global international corporate, but with very humble beginnings, I think is the best way to put it. We come from a credit background. Our DNA is very much in respect of credit, underwriting, operations, and investment. And that is really the type of business that we've grown today, is off the back of that foundation. I did apologize in advance that this might happen, so I was preempting that. I will continue because I know this slide fairly well. So today we operate across 10 jurisdictions, 4 in Europe, and 6 across the Asia Pacific region. Okay. The 4 jurisdictions in Europe that we operate out of are the UK, Ireland, Spain, and Greece. Our 2 key Asian markets are India and Indonesia. We also have a footprint in Japan and China, and we're soon to be opening an operation in Vietnam. And we also have an operation based out of Fiji, which is part of our wider operational efficiency hub. Today we manage 55 billion US dollars in assets under management. We started with 600 million assets under management 10 years ago. So you can imply the growth from 600 million to 55 billion over that time period as a result of the product that we're bringing to market and why that is so important. We manage 125 different clients, and we've had a 40% increase in absolute client numbers this year alone. And there's a reason for that I can explain later on, but fundamentally a product of the macro environment that we're dealing with primarily across the European markets at the moment. We manage 12 different individual asset classes, ranging from residential mortgages, small balance CRE or commercial real estate mortgages, large ticket corporate mortgages and corporate loans, all the way down to very granular retail unsecured, auto loans, two-wheelers, four-wheelers, and that type of thing. We manage 200 different individual portfolios on behalf of those 125 clients, and about 75 or 80 of them are funded in the public markets. So that is what we refer to as residential mortgage-backed securitization, or ABS, asset-backed securitization. That means that we are a named credit manager on all of those portfolios that are listed publicly. So we've really evolved our offering as a result of that growth through time. I'll very quickly run over this. I've introduced the markets we operate out of. You can see where they sit and the types of focus that we have in each of those jurisdictions. I think a key message that we would like to get across is that we are not one size fits all. What we do is deliver a business required by the market we operate in. We don't take the model that we've got in the UK and just sit that down in India, because we don't believe that is relevant nor appropriate. We refine our offering, we leverage the capability and knowledge that we've built over the last 10 years managing the degree of credit that we have, and then we make a nuanced delivery in respect of the market that we're operating in. We have a very clear purpose in how we operate, and I think it's very important that we reiterate to this group what that purpose is. Fundamentally, we find ways positively and efficiently to help people. That could be people who are borrowers who are facing financial distress, and we bring the experience that we've developed over many, many years helping restructure or put borrowers onto a more sustainable footing. We help our clients succeed by delivering them a technology-enabled credit management solution that enhances the technology that they may be leveraging internally, but also delivers to them intelligence and insights around the way that we think about managing portfolios, which may be, and oftentimes is, very different from the way that they manage internally. And then finally, we work with our investors to help them in respect of delivering their aspirations as well. So we think it's a very noble delivery. We think it's a very noble undertaking, in the sense that we help people succeed no matter their situation. Our culture is essential. It is the reason we've been able to achieve what we have over the last decade. And fundamentally, our culture comes down to our people. And one of the things I'm most proud about in India over the last 2 years since we've been operating here is the team that we have developed. Under Mukund's leadership and his senior leadership team who are standing here with us today, the quality of people that we have been able to bring into this business to effectively deliver the culture that we've sought to build over time fills me with enormous pride. And I think that's one of the reasons why standing here in front of you telling our story gives me confidence that we are going to be delivering a lot more in India over the coming years. We are positioned very strongly as a business. I do think that in respect of our delivery into the Indian market, the fact that we've got such a strong and stable international presence gives people comfort, it gives us credibility, and allows us with confidence to speak to our clients or potential clients about the growth and evolution of our business. I won't go into detail here, the numbers speak for themselves, but a point that would be worthwhile calling out is that we are rated globally by S&P, one of the largest rating agencies around the world, in respect of the quality of our offering. Now that's not just you have the best technology, it's also about corporate governance, it's about culture, it's about the strength of the balance sheet that we're able to deliver to a market that is rapidly growing, rapidly evolving. We're able to offer that type of infrastructure and footprint to the market, which I do believe is a point of differentiation. I'll very briefly talk to you about the Indian strategy, and then I'll hand over to Mukund to talk more specifically. And this really talks about our global strategy. Our wider global strategy at Pepper Advantage has three core pillars. The first is credit management, the second is credit technologies, and the third is called credit access. Credit management is essentially what I was just talking about and where we built our foundations from. This is managing credit on behalf of institutions, be them banks, credit funds, hedge funds. And many of our clients, Mukund will talk to those of ours in India, are very large international finance houses. Goldman Sachs, PIMCO, Morgan Stanley, etc., alongside local banking institutions that some of you may or may not know around the world. So credit management is where we built this offering 10 years ago. Over the last 4 years, however, we have evolved our offering fundamentally because we believe as the market evolves, as credit evolves, as we exist in a higher rate environment for longer, actually what our clients and our ultimate customers need is technology-enabled credit management. Technology-enabled credit management is not just enhancing the capabilities that banks or other institutions may or may not have. It's also ensuring that we're able to deliver regulation into the heart of our technology. It's ensuring we're able to offer the customer journey to the ultimate borrowers who require a more nuanced approach. And fundamentally, it's taking the IP that we've developed over 10 plus years in the credit markets and codifying it in software. That is why we've opened the Tech Hub here in Pune, and we'll speak about an acquisition that we made recently. But the reason we are doing this is because we believe to efficiently and sustainably deliver credit management into markets like India, it has to be built within technology. So credit technologies is the second core strategic vertical for us. And then finally, the third vertical is credit access. This is around leveraging our core operational footprint and allowing us or our partners to put capital to work through our platform into the markets we operate in. It's not something we will be doing in India in the next 2 or 3 years. We want to continue to build out our operating footprint. We want to continue refining our technology and our data and analytics. But in time, we do wish to be putting our balance sheet and discretionary capital to work through the information, data, and analytics that we've built through time. In India, this manifests itself in a multi-layered way. We call it a layer cake approach. In effect, the strategy is built along those three disciplines, but with, frankly, a number of different horizontals. The first and foundational horizontal is the delivery of what we are doing today at scale for many clients that have grown at over 20% this year and 200% growth in our AUM. That is effectively around debt collections and bucket X recoveries. So it's effectively quite labor intensive, requires us to build a very deep, broad, regional footprint so that we can offer more than just people sitting on calls. We can put people into the various jurisdictions. However, it allows us to touch the credit that we're managing. So building that core foundation of DCA and early stage bucket collections is essential for our wider strategy. On top of that, we are looking to leverage our footprint by offering BPO style activities. So effectively outsourced processing efficiencies around all sorts of activities. It could be credit management, it could be credit operations, but it also could be call center, lead generation, outbound sales activities. So we will be leveraging our operating footprint to put BPO activities into the various markets. We're going to begin operating in different industries outside of just the core retail and MSME credit that we operate within, including the aspiration to move into broking and broking on behalf of large insurance houses. Again, leveraging the geographic footprint that we operate within. So from a credit management perspective, you can see there's 3 or 4 different key aspirations that we're going to be targeting. From a credit technologies point of view, and we've got a number of our credit technology team here in the room today, this is all about building out a very scalable, deeply invested credit technology platform that is able to be used internally on our own behalf, but also sell into the market on a SaaS basis. The acquisition that we made back in May of a business called Reon.ai is an example of the, intent, the motivation and the aspiration we have in respect of technology in India. We'll talk a little bit more about that acquisition in the coming minutes. However, the technology foundation here in India is profound. And there's 2 markets out of 10 that we're putting our technology into first. India is one of them. The other is the UK. And we're putting our core platform, which is currently called Horizon, into the Indian market. The goal is by Q2 of next year. On top of our core credit technologies offering is a deep credit analytics, data and analytics capability. Cloud-based, but using the latest in respective predictive analytics, AI, and machine learning. And I'm sure one of the questions this morning will be, why have you chosen Pune as the base for your tech hub? It's because of the talent that we're able to access from that type of technology initiative. The third discipline, as I mentioned, or strategy, is around credit access. I don't believe we will be doing this for the next few years as we build out our foundations, but absolutely in time we will be looking towards putting our balance sheet and third-party capital to work in this market. Beyond that, we will also be partnering with other investors and ARCs in the market in respect of what it is that we want to deliver going forward. That's been a key part of how we've built this business over the last 10 years, is leveraging partnerships and building relationships. So I hope that was clear. It was a very quick run through of what we've done over the last 10 years. I'm now going to hand over to Mukund, who's going to talk a little bit more about the Indian business itself, and then we'll wrap up with the Tech Hub before I leave for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Fraser.